Brothers and sisters, today we immerse ourselves in one of the deepest mysteries of our faith, a mystery that is about to be brought to the big screen in a way never before seen in the history of cinema. For over 20 years, after the groundbreaking impact of The Passion of the Christ, Mel Gibson has remained in a working silence, studying, praying, and consulting with some of the greatest theologians and mystics of Christianity. Why? To prepare the sequel the entire world has been waiting for, the resurrection of the Christ. But do not expect a conventional story. What Gibson is preparing, and what we will see in theaters in 2027, is not merely the chronicle of an empty tomb. It is an exploration of what happened in the invisible realm during those hours when the world believed the light had been extinguished forever. Gibson himself, describing the ambition of the project, declared, "The resurrection is not just an event that happened 2,000 years ago. It is an event that happens outside of time and has repercussions for every single moment of our present existence. I don't want to show only a man rising. I want to show the explosion of life that annihilates death forever." Today, we will try to understand what these revelations are and why this film promises to shake the foundations of our spiritual perception. The first great pillar of this new work concerns a line from our creed that we often recite without fully grasping its meaning. He descended into hell. What does this truly mean? In the new film, Gibson will not stop at the tomb in Jerusalem. The narrative will take us into the realm of the dead, what the ancients called Sheol. According to sources close to the production and studies conducted on the writings of the mystic Anna Katharina Emmerich, the film will show Jesus entering the realm of death not as a victim, but as the King of Glory reclaiming what is his. The director has used very strong words to describe the visual experience awaiting us, calling it almost an acid trip. He explained, "We are talking about realms we have never explored. The film must be illuminating. It must go beyond human sensory experience to show the magnificence of what happened in the invisible." This descent was not a silent walk, but a true invasion of light into the deepest darkness, portrayed with a visual power that promises to leave us breathless. Many Christians see the resurrection as a purely joyful and peaceful event. However, ancient theology teaches us that those 3 days were the stage of an uncompromising spiritual battle. Gibson wanted to emphasize this aspect, the fall of the rebellious angels and their desperate attempt to hold souls captive in the realm of death. In a meeting with biblical scholars, the director clarified the need to show the harsher side of this clash. Evil thought it had won on Friday afternoon, but Saturday was the day of terror for the dark powers. The film must show that terror. If we do not show how deep the abyss was, we will never understand how high the glory of Christ's victory truly is. The director wants us to understand that the resurrection was not a magic trick, but an act of divine authority that reshuffled the laws of the universe. Christ did not simply come back to life like Lazarus, only to die again. He passed through death to destroy it from the inside. Another aspect that makes this film a work of deep study is its connection to the Holy Shroud. Gibson has dedicated years to analyzing the archaeological and scientific findings related to the Passion. In the film, the moment of the resurrection will be represented according to the most fascinating scientific hypotheses arising from the study of the Holy Shroud of Turin. How can a body leave an image impressed on a cloth through an unknown radiation? The film will attempt to visualize this zero moment, the instant when the battered flesh is struck by such divine power that matter itself is transformed. It will not be ordinary cinematic light, but a representation of the glory of God dwelling in the temple of Christ's body. We will see how the burial cloths and the shroud were not unwrapped, but how the body passed through them, leaving them intact yet empty. This is one of the strongest revelations Gibson wants to offer. Visual proof that the resurrection is a real physical event, not merely a symbol or spiritual metaphor. While Jesus was battling in the abyss, what was happening on earth? The film will explore the sorrow and waiting of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Gibson has chosen to portray the mystical connection between mother and son. Even when all seemed lost, Mary was the only one who kept the flame of faith alive in the world. The film will deepen her figure not only as a grieving mother, but as an active participant in the mystery of her son. We will also see the torment of the apostles, locked in the upper room out of fear, immersed in a silence that seemed eternal. Gibson will examine their guilt and confusion, making the appearance of the risen one even more powerful. The encounter between the glorified Christ and his friends will be one of the most moving and theologically dense moments of the film. The moment when mercy meets human misery and transforms it into universal mission. Why did Gibson decide to divide the work into 2 chapters, scheduled for 2027? The answer lies in the magnitude of the material. The first part, to be released on Good Friday 2027, will focus on the descent into hell and the spiritual battle. It will be an intense, almost claustrophobic film that will make us feel the weight of sin carried on the Savior's shoulders. The second part, planned for Ascension, will celebrate the triumph and the birth of the Church. This decision reflects the desire not to trivialize the resurrection by reducing it to a happy ending of a few minutes. Gibson wants viewers to live Holy Saturday, that time of waiting and silence that mirrors our earthly life, awaiting eternal glory. It is an invitation to perseverance in faith, even when God seems absent. Gibson is not inventing anything. The powerful revelations we will see come from meditation on the writings of mystics, such as Maria of Agreda and Blessed Anna Catharina Emmerich. These texts describe details not explicitly recorded in the Gospels: the dialogue between Christ and the souls in limbo, the terror of Lucifer, the unbearable light for the creatures of darkness. Gibson is bringing into the language of cinema a mystical wisdom that, for centuries, was the treasure of a few contemplatives. The film will act as a massive spotlight on these truths, making them accessible to billions of people. It is not just entertainment, it is an act of evangelization that challenges modern secularization, reminding us that the supernatural is more real than the world we touch with our hands. As we approach 2027, the question for each of us is whether we are ready to receive the radical message this film carries. Gibson reminds us of an uncomfortable truth. If Christ is risen, then everything changes. Every suffering has meaning, and death is no longer a wall, but a door. The director has invested millions of dollars and years of his life into this mission. In an age where faith is often reduced to empty tradition, the resurrection of the Christ promises to restore to us the shock of that first Easter morning, the shock of discovering that the crucified one is alive and still walks among us. Gibson wants every viewer to leave the theater feeling the atomic power of grace that transformed history. Brothers and sisters, the resurrection is the center of history. Without it, our faith is empty. May this film be an opportunity to rediscover the beauty of our creed. May the hope of Easter never abandon us, especially in moments of darkness. If you too believe that the light of Christ can illuminate every darkness in your life and that His victory is your victory, write this confession of faith in the comments. Christ is risen, death is defeated. If this video has helped you reflect on the greatness of our faith and the incredible things ahead, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future insights. Share this video with your friends and loved ones. Let us bring this message of hope to those who need it most. May God bless us all.